Hi everyone, I wanted to conduct a short training video to show the differences between the CDS1000 and the CDS2000. The first thing that I wanted to point out is that there are some small differences in the size between these two units. The CDS2000 is a little bit taller than the CDS1000, but it is the same width, so it fits within the same bracket. It uses the same knobs. Along the back, the cable panel or the cable securement panel is at the same layout as the CDS1000. You can use the same cables, same cable arrangement as well. So there is no need for new cables, new bracket, new securement. The totalizer can fit in place of the CDS1000. Now there are some definite differences between the way that these two units are navigated. We'll start by turning on the CDS1000, which I know you all are very familiar with. First off, with the CDS1000, your power button is here, and on the CDS2000, you'll find it up at the top right corner, okay? Well, as we wait for this to boot up, one major difference with the CDS1000 versus the CDS2000, as you can see, the CDS1000 has the touch pad, the soft key pad for your digits or your manual entries. The CDS2000 does not. Once you get into your setup menu with the CDS2000, this unit becomes touchscreen navigation, which opens up a couple more features with this unit that make it far more, I guess, beneficial or advantageous to use. So for your sake, when you're thinking about replacing a CDS1000 with the CDS2000, we're going to get into the CDS2000 setup. So when you will get a CDS2000 unit, it will come with factory settings. So it will be set to nitrogen service. It will be set to a 2-inch turbine and a default K factor of 150, okay? And in order to get into the setup menu, similar to the way that you would do with the CDS1000, where you turn the unit off, then you hold down escape. Sorry, I'm gonna need two hands to do a little bit of this, but you hold down escape while you power the unit on to get to your setup menu. Here, because you don't have an escape button, the way to do it is you hold down for 3 seconds your details and alarms soft key. So let me see if I can do this with one hand to show you guys. There. So now that we are in the setup menu of the CDS2000, this is where you're going to go in to essentially program your unit. So again, as I mentioned, once you get to your setup menu, you no longer have a touch screen or a soft keypad to navigate. Now you're going to be using just the touch screen here, okay? The setup menu has 7 bubbles. Really, you're only going to need 2 of them: metrology configuration and system settings. If your date and time is off, of course, you can adjust it right there. But to start, we'll go into metrology configuration, which will be your first step. And once you tap metrology configuration, you're going to be asked for a password. We know with the CDS1000, your passwords are 1000. Well, with the CDS2000, the password is 2000. And then hit accept, and you're there. So now that you're at metrology configuration, there are 3 different submenus here. And this first one will go right back. So you're going to have metrology selections and units of measure, calibration, and sensors. So when you go to the first one, metrology selections and units of measure, this is where you're going to be able to change your product. So you simply look at the product selected, it's nitrogen. You can hit edit, and you have your choice of any of these products here: oxygen, nitrogen, argon, LCO2, CCO2, nitrous, all of those there. One other feature that could be beneficial for you, and it's a really nice feature with the CDS2000, is that there is for everything in the setup menu, there is this feature. It's a built-in manual for this meter. So this will show you, according to the manual, it kind of gives you a explanation of what each of these features does. So if there's anything in there that confuses you, just tap the little question mark icon, and it will give you a built-in kind of description of what it does. So the things that you're going to want to change, depending on the surface it goes into, you may need to change from Lin to LOX or to argon. Compensation is next. You always want your temperature compensation on, count during temp sense fail off, count during temp out of range off, and count during high flow. That's up to you. Some people like to have it. You shouldn't ever high flow these meters. You can leave it on or off. And then metrology units of measure. This is where you can change from either gallons to standard cubic feet, pounds, or you name it, okay? So you'll exit out. The next one, calibration. This is where you are going to change your K factor. So whenever you have a new meter you come or you calibrate your unit, this is where you're going to change your K factor. And then finally, sensors, you won't need to go there. This is all for internal setup. The next section that you're going to need to be familiar with is system settings. So once you tap system settings, this is where you will be able to change your flow meter size. Although you shouldn't need to change your flow meter size, most all of your meters are 2-inch. You may have a couple 3-inch meters out there, so that is where you change that. Timer settings. This is just simply max time between delivery and nanny mode. If you want to learn more about nanny mode, you can read about it in the manual. It's an interesting, kind of fun little feature. But then finally, really the last one that you're going to have to get involved with is pump settings. And this is where you set up either your cool down through your RTD or your cool down through your pump housing sensor. And that's all done here. Cool down mode, you can either disable it, you can use the product sensor or the pump housing sensor. If you turn your pump housing sensor on, you'll see that the timer feature is removed from this submenu. But if you use your product sensor, the timer populates back. So it's temperature and timer when you use product sensor, but it's only temperature when you use the pump housing sensor. There's where you can find your relay contacts, and then you have your pressure sensing here. I have this set for disabled, and it will come disabled from the factory. All you do is change that to 4 to 20 input. And again, all of the features that are in the CDS1000 are there for you in the CDS2000. Your threshold pressure should be set to maybe 175. If you're in nitrogen service, your threshold timer is the time it takes to achieve prime, and then your cutoff pressure is typically set for 50. Shutdown, delay, disabled. Other than that, there's not a whole lot more else to it. You can always contact us if you have any questions, but it is a pretty simple setup. And other than that, give us a shout if you need us. Thank you. Bye.